And good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special Star Wars event. As always, I'm Dan Tartaglione, also known as D Tartag1. Joining me tonight on Taco Tuesday is Bill Kafer. How are you doing tonight, Bill?
Good. Is that the only reason you had me on? Is for the alliteration?
Well, no, the real reason we have you on tonight is in lieu of Holo Theater tonight, we're doing a special GEMPC event, bringing to you a top 8 matchup between two of your good friends and teammates and allies, I would guess. Mike Kessling and Greg Shaw. So, what are we going to see? What are we, the fans, going to see in this match?
I mean, you're going to see two great players, two of the OG new allies go at it here. I'll tell you that there's been little to no chat in the threads, in the new allies threads about this match. I think Drew was talking about being on Team Kessling, so I decided to claim Team Greg. But what that meant was that uh, me and Drew have no idea what they're playing, so I don't know what that means.
Okay. So just to recap really quick before we actually get into the game, we got there's a lot going on in Star Wars CCG right now. Not only so right now we're into the top 8 of the GEMPC, just as like I obviously just said. But the rest of our top 8 looks really solid. We know that Kieran advanced past Joe Olsen. Kieran, the number 57 seed overall.
Yeah, I hope he wins it because he knocked me out, so that'll make me feel a little bit better about my early exit here.
Well, you know what? As a fan of good Star Wars, like I know I can't really say as a commentator who I hope I want us to win, but as a fan of good Star Wars, I'm rooting for. I would like to see Kieran versus Batmouse, just so Kieran can get a little revenge on Batmouse for saying for putting him as the 57 seed.
Yeah, but that would mean Batmouse is in the finals, and nobody wants that.
I don't know. Batmouse has a nice little road to go through. So Mike Kessling again is facing Greg Shaw. They are the only single-digit seeds left, and unfortunately, one of them is going home after tonight.
Yeah, two of the last three new allies left too.
Yeah.
We at some point during the top 16, that whole quadrant was I think it was Greg was playing um, I'm blanking on a name. Um, I know Mike was playing Jeremy, and then Greg was playing not he was playing Kuhn. So we had
Mm,
four of them there. We knew somebody was making it to the top four.
yeah. And then I know like Batmouse just recently he played Dennis to get into the top 8.
Yep,
So there was a lot of new allies, but I mean there is like what? How many
there's a
of you
lot of new
guys?
allies.
There's a lot of new allies at this point. But speaking of Batmouse, he has to face down Connor Britton, a battle of SoCal friends. So they play a lot against each other in the SoCal region. And then Charlie Arlinson versus Tom Struthers. We do know that they played game one. I'm not really sure the results. I know that Tom ended up winning the game. It just depends on uh, the number.
Yeah, I think it was 11 or 12, and they were trying to
Yeah,
figure out which one it should be.
but and then on top of that, give me 1 second. Don't want anything popping. I don't want my Steam popping up as we play or as we do this. So I'm closing it down. But on top of everything that's going on with the GEMPC, we have Nationals right around the corner. That comes in next week. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll be flying out a week from tomorrow.
uh, I know a lot of people are going. It's going to be a really good event. If you can go, please go. Garrett and Chris are going to be doing a really nice job out there. Even though pre-registration has passed, you can still register for the event. I know Batmouse, I believe he just registered, so uh, count him
Yeah,
on the people who are going to be going.
and I think five of the top eight from the GEMPC will be there because Joe will
Yeah,
be there, Mike and Greg will be there, Batmouse apparently will be there, Connor will be
Connor,
there, and then Charlie will
Charlie.
be there too.
Yeah,
So six.
and then again, Friday we're going to be doing live Holo Theater live from the event. So no Holo Theater next Tuesday. Instead, we're going to be doing it on Friday in celebration. And then Saturday morning, the coverage starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have a team of good commentators doing a lot of fun. I'm expecting to see some really good games. And then again on Sunday, the coverage will start at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern for your top 8. And then, like I said, right now we have 28 players registered, 29 if you include Batmouse, with some few players signed up for the full weekend. And then we have some players who signed up for the main event only. And then I'm excited to see this. Matt Lutz, his son, is going to play in the side event.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played in the team event back in whenever the last tournament up in Minnesota was. So
last year.
Got a little experience under his belt now. He's ready to go.
Okay. And then we're still in the middle of the Set 21 preview set release event. That is going until April 10th. So make sure you guys get your games in for that. Get some cool prizes, including this big stolen data tapes. And then on top of that, we have the online retro event will be starting on later next month, and then Worlds in September in the fall. So, but I say we tell the two players that we're going to be ready to stream. Bill, any final thoughts before you get into it?
I'm just excited to see what they come up with, right? So like some of this is going to be what they think is best because we, as a team, we say, if you can win an event, go win an event. Some of it is kind of because it's 10 days before nationals, how much do we want to give away?
True.
And then some of it is, what's going to be the most fun to just play against your buddy.
I still like the idea of playing like a 2-player premier decks against each other. I know it's not like what the meta is right now, but I still think that would be kind of funny.
But maybe.
I'm excited to see what these two players pull out. I definitely think it's going to be an interesting match. So let's go ahead. Both players are in the lobby, and I do believe that Mike has decided to go with Dark Side first. So he's putting Greg on light side.
I can tell you that Mike is playing Bring Him Before Me for Dark Side.
Why'd you tell us? We could have seen it.
Well, I won't tell you what Greg's playing then. How about that?
Okay. So Bring Him Before Me, that's an interesting one. Mike, I know, likes map and he likes OA. Like he seems to play those a lot in any of the events that he goes to.
I mean, they're good decks, and he's very good with them. So I don't see why he wouldn't.
But it's interesting to see him play Bring Him Before Me. I know a lot of people thought Bring Him was kind of decreased in power after the errata, where you can no longer play Palpatine, the Emperor Reborn. But we'll see. Okay, so both of our players are set. Here we go with our top 8 match. Greg Shaw versus Mike Kessling. Bring It Before Me, and looks like we have an Obi-Wan Communing deck from Greg.
Yeah. Deck we certainly like.
I know a lot of people like it. Like it seems like it's the most popular deck right now for light side.
Well, it's the new hotness, right? It got a fun card in I Can't Believe He's Gone virtual. Everybody likes to draw bigger destinies. Everybody likes to play Old Ben for free. I think it was underplayed prior to this a bit. I know Dennis and I were working on one over Christmas break. We were looking at Obi Communing just because you can run a whole bunch of big mains and Master Loot.
And don't tell Matt Carulli that it was underplayed because he pulled out during the PC20 event and threw rocks at people.
Well, sure, and that version has been going around for a while, right? With I know I played against Matt, I played against Pat playing it, right? Where like if you put somebody on the ground, you better be able to withstand 30 power or something real quick.
And get the Gick ready. Greg saying, "May the force be with you" to his buddy. So Mike going with Wipe Them Out, all of them, and I Am Your Father, as well as Security Precautions. Greg going with Watling, Saitor Calfast V, and I Must Be Allowed to Speak V. Shame he's not playing the AI.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. Same with Mike for the
I Am Your Father. Yeah.
Come on. That's okay.
Greg is going with the Tatooine start. I've seen a lot of people play like the Dagobah Yoda's Hut, as well as the Endor Pyre.
Yep, both good options. I think there's a lot of ways you could take this deck. It is something we're looking at on design, right? Like, is that something we want people to do,
Mm-hmm.
or do we want people to, start the site that they should be starting? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Okay, so Mike already gets Forlom with concussion rifle out. He also gets the Emperor's power out. Still with only 3 force. I mean, do you think he can get the? Do you think he's going to pull the Emperor this turn?
Well, he's already drawn, so I'm gonna go with no.
Touche. Okay, so he does draw 2 force after the Forlom, and there he goes drawing his last card.
Presumably the Emperor was in his force pile, right? Because you got
That's
no
a
real way to look
possibility, yeah.
until you look for Emperor's power. So
Because you want to grab the Emperor's power before you activate, so that way you can guarantee it. And especially being that it's once per game. Okay, Greg also gets 6 force. And he's
Greg's
gonna,
playing. So Greg sent me over his list. He's playing a slightly different version than kind of the one we've been talking about. So I'll see. I'm interested to see how it works out.
okay. I like it when people play different versions.
Yeah, and that's one of the ones. Like, I mean, there's 4 distinct versions of this deck right now. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you have the rock version, you have the like my father before me version, you have the Yoda Hut start version, and then I'm sure there's other versions floating around that I'm not paying attention to. Wasn't somebody? I feel like I saw somebody in the OCS starting Obi Communing and pulling Trevor Horn with Bo Shuda at the audience chamber.
What?
Like, there's some crazy things you can do.
I mean, I've seen it where people play speeders.
Yeah, I know
Like,
Kyle's running a speeder version, right?
mm-hmm. Like even though you can play the Obi-Wan's hut, and then if you can find, you could like go get the Hoth sites. Like if you can find one Hoth site, then you can get all the rest of them.
Yeah, didn't Fat Lenny was talking about that in his tournament report, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
running the Obi Communing, starting the Hoth site, so we can pull out the battlegrounds there.
Okay, there is the Moss Eisley. Yeah, I like that the Obi-Wan community does feel like it's a very open-ended deck. I kind of like that. Like, that way, players can play what they want to. Now, granted, we did see that kind of with like the Yoda communing as well. I mean, not so much the Qui-Gon communing. Qui-Gon it felt like it was a very narrow type of a deck where you're going to play high immunity mains such as like Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi, Mace Windu, Yoda, Master of the Force, stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's nice to see like an open-ended
Mm-hmm.
deck like that.
Okay, so Greg does leave 5 force after deploying Moss Eisley.
Interesting.
Mike starts his turn, and it looks like he is going to go try and pull the Emperor with his objective.
What do you think, Dan? Has he got a spy here, and he's going to go invade the throne room?
I wouldn't. I could see it with, like, say, Cornhorn or Jin. Even R2D2V.
Cassian?
Cassian would be another good one. Like, that's the one thing. There's a lot of good rebels, which kind of makes sense considering the first 3 movie or the main trilogy was all about the rebels.
I don't know. Holding 5 is a lot,
True.
especially when presumably the farm is in that 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting to see. Like he pulled Moss Eisley, so it being that he didn't pull the farm tells me that it is part of that 5. Um, Maybe he doesn't want to
Okay.
get the farm out too early, risk Vader going down there and draining for a ton.
I mean, he drains for 3 at Mos Eisley anyway, so
True.
I think it's moot. It's probably. I mean, he drew 1 card. Maybe he drew the farm.
That's true. Okay, Mike will play. We must accelerate our plans to pull the blockade flagship bridge. So really good 2 turns from Mike. He got off a lot of the activation. Forlom in his opening hand was really strong. Greg will utilize the Communing Epic event to peek at the top card of his force pile, determining whether or not he wants to put it in. He does put it back onto the top, and then Mike's just going to draw, saving 2.
feels like a slow developing game here, right? So I remember somebody talking about this in chat the other day, how like by turn 6, you kind of know who's going to win this game. But if you do nothing on turns 1, 2, like I mean, Mike did something right. He was productive,
Hmm.
but he's not advancing his win condition. So this might be a bit of a more drawn out game.
And I think that right there tells me that I'd rather. I personally like to be on the defensive, like more of a slow paced player, more of a
I
cautious
mean,
angle.
yeah, you're a blue player.
I won't deny that in the least bit. Um, so, and being that Greg is facing down like possibly Darth Vader, Emperor's Enforcers, um, Lord Maul with lightsabers, cards that can really hinder those those characters that he has. Like he's not running any Jedi, so all of his characters have defense value 5 and less.
Well,
So
Luke 6 with the sabers, that's not
true.
awful,
That's
but
not
I think
awful.
this is a game of attrition, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
Greg's not going to want to put down a bunch of characters together because something like that Maul, like that Vader with Emperor's power is going to be able to clear a bunch of things. So
Yes.
you kind of have to balance how do I put, one thing down to hold a site or four things down to hold a site. So I think that's what he's looking at right now.
Okay. He does pull the Tatooine system with Master Kenobi. He also does do communing shenanigans. Looking at the top card, he does place it on the bottom though this time, and
That means he likes it.
it does.
Oh, nope, he's drawing cards, so
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't like it.
with Ray in the meta, you really can't tell.
Yeah, that's incredibly strong. How you can even Ray,
Yeah.
like even if you like the card, you can leave it there because when you deploy Ray with it, you're going to be able to get it from use
Mm-hmm.
pile.
Yeah. Again, I would say Ray is probably one of the strongest cards design has made
Oh yeah,
since the
for sure.
reset.
I mean, I might even say the strongest.
I don't know. Lord Maul with lightsabers really good too.
I mean, that's fine, but you, how
But
many decks are running all of the Jedi Ray right now?
that's a good point. Yeah. When was the last time we saw Legend as a deck?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Mike going down with Maul Sith Infiltrator and Lord Maul with lightsaber to Tatooine. Smart play because one, he is going to be able to get around the Tatooine light side game text where he is limited to one battle destiny, and two, I mean you're setting up yourself for a drain of 2 next turn.
Yeah, and
So
that's going to be tough to contend with, right? Because that's going to be, effectively 6 + 2 Destiny with the +1 from Maul.
mm-hmm.
Um, you have to lose a force to do it, but I think you're okay with that, and you're going to be able to drain forward 2 for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of these communings with their space. I mean, sometimes it's a Falcon, sometimes it's Han Chewie Falcon, sometimes it's, Leia's transport. What's the shuttle Tidarium.
mm-hmm.
Um,
I've seen Luke in space with this deck where you
yeah,
put him onto the red 5. You now I don't know about that deck because Agents of Black Sun is very popular still, and you really want to have Luke on the ground for against that deck.
yeah, I think you can flex him down versus that deck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the plan with no idea, right? Like go to
Mm-hmm.
space except against no except against Black Sun.
True.
But yeah, this is really strong. So what I was getting at is I don't know what you can do to clear that, right? Because it's fully immune.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to outpower it, but to outpower it, you have to get, let's say you drop 2 4s. That's 14 power right there. Like that's
Yeah.
tough.
And the other thing is Mike has the ability to cloak.
Yep.
So, and if he doesn't like what Greg puts down, he can just go, okay, I'm going to lose 2 force. You can't do anything against me.
I will say I would be surprised to see him cloak in this
True.
game.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the benefits of Bring It Before Me. You have the ability to play a lot of high Destiny cards. Like we saw him already play We Must Accelerate Our Plans. That's Destiny 5. With Maul, it's a Destiny 6.
Yep.
And as we all know, Chris Kelly loves Destiny 6 cards. So why not put as many 5s up there as you can?
Well, why not put as many 6s as you can, right? That's a 7. That's better than 6.
Tell that to Chris Kelly. Okay, so Mike does play Force Push. He's going to put 2 cards back to take a card out. And, ooh, there's the Indominator and the Persecutor. That's a strong space fleet up there now.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see that. I mean, it's a good card, right? Like I mean, it's obviously you control that system now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's not immune kind of hurts you a little bit.
Yeah.
He will have to lose something, but I guess you can lose a Maul, right? Because he's forfeit what, 7?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, like, as a light side player, you want to have the ability to draw multiple destinies. So cards such as like Lando Calrissian Scoundrel, Princess Leia V might be played here. I do, like you were saying earlier, Leia's Resistance Transport is really good because one, you can get yourself a free Rey. Well, even though Mike has the Imperial Detention out, it's a deploy cost 2 Rey. Plus, on top of that, you can shuttle like Lando up. You can shuttle all those characters like a Hera. Like you can put Lando onto the Tatooine sites, pull a card with "I must be allowed to speak," and then shuttle it up. Okay. Greg does pull another shield. He plays There Is Another, so it looks like he's going to give Leia over instead of Luke.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the strategy with this is you get to. I mean, he's playing Mos Eisley, right? We assume he's going to play the Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
You get to separate these sites by as much as you can, right? So you get maybe if Vader comes down and goes to the farm, you put that on the opposite side of the hut, right? And then you have the cantina all the way on the other side. It's very difficult. And then you could set up something like Luke, Leia, third guy in the cantina and start shuffling.
So one thing I don't like about Mike going to space so early is he has one of his best characters already on the table in Maul.
Yeah.
It's not like he can go and use Maul against any of those characters and clear them with his lightsaber.
I mean, I still think that Maul in the ship was probably enough.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not staring down, 20 force this turn. Maybe he thought maybe like there are some things you can do with 20 force, especially with, Rey and use pile pools and Lando and Anakin and all these things.
Greg does get out the new card. I can't believe he's gone. That's essentially the new engine for this deck, and I find it very interesting to see that players are floating it in the deck instead of starting it.
Yeah, I don't think I would call it the engine, right? I mean, the engine is I must be allowed to speak and those characters and their matching weapons along with the power bonus, right? I can't believe he's gone is a fantastic card. I love it. But I don't think it's what made the deck work. It certainly helps, don't get me wrong.
But here's my question then. Why weren't people playing Obi-Wan Communing before that card came out?
Some of us were,
you know what? I can't...
You hear that, Matt Curley? Why weren't people playing that? That's what Dan said.
I did say that. I don't think Matt's watching right now.
I don't think so either. Yeah, Jared's in the chat too.
Yeah, well, Jared is playing this one because he created a card for it. So we see Master Luke coming down. Greg does take a card. He also plays Rey, takes another card, and puts Anakin's lightsaber onto Rey and Luke's lightsaber onto Luke.
Yeah, this is going to be tough, right? Because, is he playing a journal? That's going to be great.
Yeah, I like the journal here. Interesting, because, there it is. Obi-Wan's journal. He uses Jared's card, Return of a Jedi, to pull Obi-Wan's journal. That's going to be a really good card in this matchup.
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing where Greg's looking at, you might have to commit a little more here, right? Because if Vader comes down, even if you don't hit anybody, especially with journal, that's a pretty big... it's not a very big assumption, right? If you add a destiny, you draw 9 total, like that clears both people.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 to be safe.
Okay, so the journal does hop onto Luke, and Luke's bionic hand as well. So he's immune less than 7. Can come back with the I can't believe he's gone. Obi-Wan's journal. That's a pretty tanky Luke.
Yeah, you getting big pre-reset vibes here with
Yeah.
Just needs lightsaber proficiency.
and Lando Calrissian Scoundrel. So right now, even though Mike is throwing down a drain of 2, Greg's showing down a drain of 3 on the opposite side.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him add Leia to this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3PO with his parts showing. Solid card. So both players do have one of their recyclers on the table. Greg continues to utilize the Communing Epic event. Now, do you see Greg pooling battle plan this turn?
Um,
I mean, he's already pulled 2 defensive shields. He has right now. There's the answer.
yeah, I was gonna say I do see it because there it is. I was trying to look at activation and stuff. If I think Greg has at least a farm in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we know he's playing the Cantina, but that's a 2/2. So we're looking at pretty even activation, and I think Greg is probably not going to space this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you really just want to hamstring Mike as much as you can, right? And Mike's got to be the one that's interacting on the ground. So any force he spends to drain is less than he has to interact on the ground with you.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, even though Mike is out activating Greg right now, I think Greg, being that he has a pretty strong presence on the ground, is a slightly better board state than Mike.
Yeah, but I mean that could change with.
Yeah.
I mean, just Vader could go. I mean, maybe probably not just Vader, right? Because that's you're battling into 22 power plus Lando. But like you could. It's not as strong versus Ring of Before Me as it is versus other decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see what Mike is going to do this turn. He does activate 11. He searches with the Emperor. Seems like he's just putting that Force Lightning back and just with Forlum with Concussion Rifle and taking it every turn.
He is going to drain.
He does pay the 3. And there goes Leia from hand and a Rey off the top. So losing Leia, I think, is the right play just because you can instantly get her back with the Dark Side objective.
Yep.
And there he is. Vader. Not Vader, Emperor's Enforcer, but just
trade to your little brother Vader.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
And now what's important is, now that Mike has established himself in space and on ground, he doesn't have to pay for the battle plan while Greg is.
Yeah. I think what you're worried about now, if you're Mike, is just like if Greg's playing a neighboring. Otherwise, you know that he's going to set up a Cantina drain, right? And it's going to be a drain of 2 and 3 via those things. But that's pretty much all he's going to be able to do, right? Only activating 10. Eventually, it'll be 12 with the Cantina. But that's 6 force. So
that is 6 force. But yeah, that Vader scene, I like that Vader. Like, don't get me wrong, Emperor's Enforcer is really cool. He does give you the protection around Sorry About the Mess and Clash of Sabers. But the ability to pull Vader's anger, have some pretty beefy immune to attrition, that's a pretty good Vader.
Yeah, don't forget what's his face too? Lightsaber deficiency.
True. Very good card against lightsabers. Okay, both players put cards back with their recyclers, and now we go into Greg's turn. Greg still has 2 force left over from his last turn. He is going to be activating at 10 this turn, so he'll have 12 force to work with.
Mike does get the wipe activation now, too.
So he's now working with 2 force. So, again, Mike is getting a little bit more of an advantage right now over Greg on activation. Greg looks like he did like the card that was on top of his force pile, so as he took it with Rey, and he does drain, adding 2 lightsabers to it, thus making Mike lose 3 force. see, he loses Blizzard 4, Artisan with Blaster Rifle, and a Presence of the Force. Ooh.
Spicy.
That's a spicy one. I like that.
Well, a lot of the iterations of the Bring It Before Me that I've seen really only play these 3 locations, so you need to get a little bonus force.
I can see that. Like Mike right now he's getting 2 force from Greg off of Greg's location. So I mean he's only generating 9 off of zone. Well, 10 if you include the effect, or 10 with the wipe them out all of them effect. But that's a card that you can just easily put on like Obi-Wan's hut, make it into a battleground, sit there and drain for.
No, you can't drain there.
You're correct.
But you can put it on even like the throne room once you capture Luke or Leia, whoever you get. You can put it on. But right now, it would be pretty good to put it in space. Make that a drain of 3.
Yeah. Jared in the chat points out you can put it on the Yavin 4 War Room versus No Idea. Yep. Can't do that against Yavin 4 Ops, though. Well, you can. I think you can if you take over.
You have to occupy Yavin 4.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the farm. And it was in his reserve deck, interesting enough.
I mean, he could have put it back with 3PO last turn, right?
True.
And you know it's there.
And he pulls it with Master Kenobi, not the I must be allowed to speak. So he still has that once per game pool. So if he needs to look for something during his deploy phase, he can use that. But
maybe he's playing another farm. You don't know.
Multiple farms.
This is just, it's Obi Communing has turned into farming, and evaporators are going to run wild.
Don't give Chris Kelly too idea. Oh wait, you're on design.
I'm supposed to get Chris Kelly ideas.
You are. Do expect to see Greg deploy Leia out of his lost pile right now. I think he's debating on whether or not he wants to give Leia to Vader or sit her on Tatooine.
And I'm brewing a deck. You know that evaporators and hydroponic stations are both Destiny 4? That's pretty good.
Are they non-unique or unique?
They're non-unique.
Okay, go on.
You could pull the audience chamber, and you could play You Will Take Me to Jabba Now to get Arden Vapor Krell, and then pull Bo Shuda. Oh, there's Nabrin. That's unfortunate.
Oh, he pays 6 for the Nabrin, though. Okay, Mike. Okay, so Luke, Ray, and Lando will move from Tatooine over to Cloud City. Mike does grab the Nabrin. The 3 characters move over.
See, here, lightsaber parry is going to be very good if he's playing it.
You still have to think. You still have the Lando, though. And Vader is only immune to...
He's immune to 5 with no Jedi there.
Yeah, so you're probably going to... Like, Mike's probably lose the Vader.
So if Mike has a Gick here, he's probably fine. Or a Gick or a lightsaber parry or a force field. Force field less so, but let's see what he goes and gets.
Yep.
But what I'm thinking about as Mike here, and just watching this from the 1,000-foot view, is Mike's going to draw 2 Destiny. He's probably going to clear 2 guys, so now you're going to leave a Luke behind. Greg's only got 1 force, so he's going to have to use those force to add power. So he's not going to get to add 1 with the Destiny, most likely.
Yeah.
All right, so no parry.
He does take the Vader's anger, though. Rey takes a shot, or swings her lightsaber at Vader, draws a 3 and a 3. That's not going to do it. Oh, no, Greg, it will add 1 with I Can't Believe He's Gone, making Vader hit. So, like you were saying, he's not going to get the ability. He's either going to add 5 or He's not gonna have a force left after this. Okay, Vader swings at Lando, draws a 1 for the first Destiny. Not a good start for Mike. But he does draw a 7.
Strong finish, though.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Greg has the Obi-Wan's Journal. That will cancel the Phantom Menace Destiny, and Lando will survive that swing. Okay, Luke takes a shot at Vader.
Because why not?
Why not? There's another neighboring leads.
That's silly.
And a sorry about the mess. So Vader is double hit. Like what would happen? Like if you're double hit like that, what happens to your forfeit?
It comes back. Actually, it's a little known rule.
Okay, so Mike will add a Destiny with Emperor's Power. He loses Point Man off the top.
He didn't play the anger, right?
No, he did not. Yeah, I think you have to play the anger here.
If you have a Gick, I don't think you play the anger. Because I think you can clear exactly 2, because you're going to lose the battle.
Oh, he plays the anger.
So right now it is 14 to 10, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg skipped over adding 5 to power.
He did. Okay, Greg passes over to Mike. Mike will forlom a card back.
So, and maybe I'm reading too much into this. It feels like he's trying to bait Greg into using that force.
Mm-hmm. Greg draws a 5 for the first Destiny. And a 4 for the second one, bringing his total up to 23. 24, sorry, because Ray adds 1 to the total. Mike draws a 4 for the first Destiny. And a 3 for the second one. That only gets rid of Lando.
No, that's 11.
Oh, that's right, because of the... okay, there's the Sith Fury to take Saiyan Isard into hand.
Nope, cancel redraw.
Oh, cancel redraw? Okay.
There you
Draws
go.
a 7. Okay.
That's 11, 12, 13, 14. That's still... Oh, it's 15. There you go.
That's Luke and another character. And unfortunately, Greg cannot bring back any of those characters as they have to be on Tatooine to utilize the "I can't believe he's gone" game text. Greg in the chat says, "What a luck box." Mike, #blessed. That's that Georgia Bulldog luck.
Oh. I forgot about Vader's text. Vader makes everybody forfeit -1.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out why Lando only covered 6. So that is going to clear the entire site.
Wow. Yeah. I think it cleared the site anyways.
Well, it would have been, what, 4, 3, and 4 is 11?
It still would have been over by 1. Because I think Lando's a 7.
Lando would have been 6 and Ray would have been 6. So you need
12.
13 to clear the site. Or 14, because technically Luke would have been 7 and Ray would have been 6. Yeah. That's a lot of cards going in the lost pile.
It is. And Greg, Mike had to lose Blast Sword controls and a Lord Maul with lightsaber from his hand. He still owes 1 more card to the overflow, but more importantly, he got rid of that stack, and that was on Greg's turn.
Yeah.
That's very bad for Greg.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, right? You kind of... This is a weird game of who wants to be the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because now, technically, Mike could come down with another Vader.
Mm-hmm. He does have Vader on top of his deck, or on his top of his lost pile. Yeah. So a well-timed no escape would be very good here for him. He does play Come Here, You Big Howard, so that way Greg cannot retrieve right now. And it did look like Greg drew that last card. into his hand. But losing Lando, Luke, and Ray, as well as 2 sabers, not the best.
Well, it's interesting that Greg didn't add to power there, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Mike probably didn't have a kick. I mean, he might have and just eat 3 because it's not so
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Yeah, 3's not bad. Once
but
you get, if you add 5, that's still 8.
yeah,
So, okay, Mike does pay 3 to drain. Greg will lose escape pod, and we're doomed, as well as Leia's blaster rifle. Now remember, Leia is in the lost pile. But that turn was, unfortunately for Greg, though, that turn was really bad for him. Like, first, I mean, yes, you get all those characters down, but then you have to pay for 6 for the neighboring leads. Then you do hit Vader, but on backswing, Vader just clears the entire site.
yeah. Here comes Vader again.
Another Vader.
Vader is dead. Long live Vader.
There's Vader's lightsaber. He does have to lose a card. He loses Vader's anger off the top. So, again, Mike's setting himself up pretty nicely right now. And, Bill, thank you for subscribing for 40 months.
Yeah, I'm getting up there. What do you guys think in chat? So I'm torn on this play by Mike, right? To put the Vader back out. You get to get that Vader's anger again when Greg inevitably attacks. But also you open yourself up to an attack. And if he doesn't have a Gick, which we honestly unsure.
I think he did lose Vader's anger to get the saber back. So unless he's playing 2.
I could see him playing 2.
I could see him playing 2. I mean, it's a really good card.
You want me to pull up the list? I can pull up the list.
Garrett is saying that he likes the Vader play. Well, I think that's just because you're rooting for Micah Kessling, Garrett.
Such anti-Greg Shaw sentiment from Garrett.
I'm personally rooting for Greg because I have him in my top 4.
I think I have Mike in my top 4, actually. I have Mike winning the thing.
Yeah. And what's funny is...
I guess I'm anti-Greg then, too.
I was going to say, because if Mike wins, I believe you win the entire bracket prediction.
If he wins this game or if he wins overall?
Huh?
If he wins this game or if he wins overall?
I think if he wins this game.
Oh, man.
However, if Greg wins, I believe I win overall.
Yeah. You can't take Vader with any one card, so put him down, push the drains, and maybe Greg forgets to put out Leia.
There you go. Luke going back down to Tatooine.
Yeah, and I think in match play it's going to work out fine for Mike here, right? Because Luke's going to come down, you get the saber back from the lost pile without it being retrievable. You get to pull the Leia out of your lost pile. You get to take a card with Speak for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like Leia going down to Tatooine. That gives you another card with Speak. And if Mike wants to attempt to try and flip the objective, he has to go to Greg.
Garrett, I also assume that Greg isn't a chimp. But who knows? Could be a chump.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel about Greg.
You just told me I'm anti-Greg because I need to win this prediction contest.
That's true. I don't think there's any prizes for it, though.
That's unfortunate.
You can talk to Batmouse. And actually, talk to Jared. He usually hands out the prizes.
Listen, I'm real big on lording things over people. So if I can say I won this bracket contest, that's good enough for me.
Apparently, Jared just says there's prizes now.
All right, let's go, Mike.
Tell me how you really feel, Bill.
Oh, man. Maybe the loser of this game is going to have to split a chili cheese beer with me.
Oh, that just sounds so wrong. I mean, I would love to see it. You have to do it on Holo Theater.
I mean, they sold out of it. It must not be bad.
Yeah. Okay, I stand corrected, Bill. there are 3 people who are really in play for the bracket contest. Myself, you, and Charlie.
Okay.
I
Well, Charlie
believe.
has himself winning, right?
Yeah, Charlie has himself winning. Yeah,
I think I had
Charlie, no surprise, had uh, all but one player of the new allies in the final 4. His only other player he had who was not new allies was Matt Harrison Trainer.
yeah, and he's been eliminated.
He has been. Okay, so Vader drains. Vader and the Maul / Star Destroyer drain. Greg loses Run Luke Run, Fall of a Legend, Leia Rebel Princess, and the Best Shuffle combo. Tarkin's Bounty drops onto the Emperor.
Yeah, so Mike is sitting with 30 cards hand in life, about to be 29. Nope, it's still about to be 30 because it's hand in life. And then Greg is sitting at 22, 30 cards hand in life, right? But Mike, obviously the better board position here.
Yeah.
Greg having lost several of his tricks and his neighbor grabbed. And the other one is lost, right? So if he doesn't have a solo, no way to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Short of communing, moving, everything else.
I don't know if anybody who is watching this game is paying attention to the World Baseball Classic, but Team USA is currently down 2-1. Good news for Jared though. Trey Turner has another home run.
Man, imagine a team with Trey Turner and Bryce Harper. Can you imagine how good that team would be?
I
How many
know.
World Series they would win?
I mean, it's like you have Mike Trout and Otane like on the same team. It should be a perennial team making the playoffs. Okay, Mike's still deciding on what he wants with Tarkin's Bounty. Fortunately for Mike, though, doesn't he know that Tarkin's Bounty should be on Tarkin?
Yeah, but Tarkin dies. The Emperor's not going to die.
Yeah.
And if he does, he'll just be back, right? That's how Star Wars works.
You can only play that in the episode 7. Okay, Simalu coming down. That's going to benefit Mike a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do too much, right?
No.
So Greg's big threat is Luke, and Luke is on the table. So short of a third neighbor, which I don't know, man. Maybe. You don't really have to worry about Luke too much. He's just going to sit over there and drain for 2.
Yeah.
You can start doing stuff like this.
Yeah, Mara J going down to the Lars farm. Like, I mean, it's a drain of 1, but it's still putting more pressure onto Greg.
I don't love it. I mean, you can now anybody into Run Luke Run is pretty good.
True.
I probably would have just thrown Mara to the upper walkway.
Reinforce the Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is, can I go and change my fantasy nationals team? Yeah, she's +1 because of Luke.
Man, that looks good.
He is.
This is going to be a lot of remembering text for this deck, right? Because I was playing this deck the other day, and I've obviously played it a decent amount, and I forfeited Luke from a site, and at the end of the battle, the "I can't believe he's gone" lit up, and I was like, "What does that do? What can I do now?" Oh yeah,
built-in.
You can come back for free.
Built-in old Ben. Okay, the third sister coming down. That makes sense. She's has an ability of 4, can draw Destiny on her own, essentially get 2 Destiny there. Like continuing to cycle that Force Lightning. Okay, both players are activating the same right now. Both players are getting 12, even though Mike is going to be activating another one on Greg's turn. I don't know, with the journal in the lost pile right now, I think things could be very interesting for this turn for Mike.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him with a "You are beaten" here.
Yeah, that would be a good
That
play.
makes you feel a little better about somebody in to run Luke run.
Okay, into Greg's control phase after he activates his 12. Mike does activate with wipe them out, all of them. And just for the viewers' knowledge, I do believe that these two players are going to be playing both games tonight. And Bill, are you going to be sticking around for game 2?
Yeah, at least half of it. Probably the whole thing. We'll see. There is a location in the deck. That's probably the cantina.
Yeah, I was going to say that probably the cantina. Greg does not drain, so looks like he's going to try and do something with that 15 force that he has. And I mean, the only thing about the cantina now is you're giving Mike 2 more icons. That's more force for him to work with.
Yeah, but also his big threats are also on the table, right? Because you've got Maul in space, and you've got Vader on the table. Mara is on the table. Aura Singh is in the lost pile, right? Like you really only got,
Dooku
like,
would be a good one.
Kylo and Dooku, yeah.
Dooku. Anybody who's, yeah, like you're saying, Kylo, ability 5. P59's not that good.
Yeah, I don't even know if you play P59 in this deck.
Yeah. But like we were saying, you just want ability 4 characters who can draw Destiny on their own. 1, to get around Luke, and 2, so that way you can get another Destiny with the Emperor's power. Greg's still thinking about what he wants to do this turn. He's going to deploy the Honshu and the Falcon down to Tatooine. Ooh.
Okay.
Seeking an audience. Don't see that normally.
Yeah, you see it when you're running both 3PO and big R2 here.
I like that. Seeking an audience to pull R2 brave little droid for 4 force onto the Honshu and the Falcon. That's pretty nifty. That's a new allies trick if I ever seen one.
I'm sure other people have run it.
And Yoda, Master of the Force, as a passenger. So the Honshu and the Falcon is pretty loaded up with R2 and Yoda. I don't think that's ever been in the movies.
You didn't see that one? That was bonus footage?
Mm-mm.
Where Yoda hitches a ride with Han and Chewie to go save Tatooine from Maul.
From Maul.
All right, I'm ready for a Schwarbomb here. Let's see.
Schwarbomb?
A Schwarbomb from Schwarber.
I don't get the reference.
Spaceball.
Oh, okay. Again, Mike just cycling Force Lightning, putting cards back with 4 Lom. We are into Greg's draw phase.
No Schwarber home run, but maybe another Trey Turner home run.
I was gonna say, why is Trey Turner not batting ninth?
He's batting sixth.
I know he should be batting ninth.
He should be batting first.
Okay, here we go. Greg, Mike does his drains. Drain of 1 at the moisture farm.
So what's in Mike's deck? It's the Force Lightning. It's
Or whatever he put back with the 4 lom.
whatever he put back with Forlom.
Yeah.
And then a mystery card for the first
Yeah,
one?
I think the mystery card, and then it goes.
5, 7 probably.
Yeah, you got to think. Okay, Greg loses Unita, Return of the Jedi, and a Quite a Mercenary, all off the top of his deck. So he clearly likes what's in his hands.
I mean, he's only got 5 cards in his hand, right? If he starts losing cards from hand, then Mike knows he can just like go to the cantina. I don't think nobody's gonna battle into the Falcon, right?
Yep. Kylo Ren hops onto the Sith Infiltrator as a pilot.
Yeah, ironically, Kylo Ren holding his lightsaber is a pilot. Kylo Ren without his lightsaber, not a pilot.
Funny enough, you want to hear something interesting?
Oh, he is a pilot, isn't he? Yeah. Go ahead.
Just as an announcement today, we have our 4 newest, that's right, 4 new Holo Theater Host and Hero cards to be released. They include Johnny Chu and Family on a Like My Father Before Me.
It's pretty good.
Matt Manning on General Grievous. Kendall Hallman, as Greg draws a 4 for his Destiny to Power. Kendall Hallman as Kanan Jarrus Jedi Knight. And Brian Fred as Kylo Ren with lightsaber. Okay, Mike does draw that 6 for Destiny. He draws Force Lightning. And he draws a 7, which I believe R2 is going to cancel.
Yeah, and that's why he saved 3, right? Because that way you can lose the 1 off the top to get to the 5/7.
So he does let the 6 go through. Gray draws a 3 for his second Battle Destiny. Does become a 4. However, he's going to be down by 9, and Yoda only covers 8. And last time I checked, 25 was higher than 16, so Greg will have to stack a card.
It's that public school math again.
I went to a Catholic school, thank you.
Oh.
However, Mike is also going to have to lose 4. I'm assuming he's going to lose the Kylo Ren.
So yeah, stack a card, lose Yoda.
Yeah. And unfortunately for him, the Onita is in the loss pile, so he's going to have to lose. He's not going to be able to get that Yoda back. But, however, Greg is going to be able to drain for free next turn.
He could lose a card and then lose Yoda and then Walkling it back.
And yeah, then he does. Yeah. Back. Well, because Mike doesn't have Secret Plans out on the table yet, so. And then you could just activate down to it, put R2 back on. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, he does lose another. I can't believe he's gone. He loses Strike Force, and there goes the Yoda. That's right. Yoda's only a 7. Thank you, Joe. I always think Yoda's an 8 for some reason. It just seems like Yoda should be an 8.
But yeah, if he Walklings that back right now. Right now it's weird because you need the. If you Walkling it back now, you can't activate down to it, get it with 3PO, and pull R2 and get 2 Destiny. So you kind of want Mike to pull Secret Plans here, so you have to pay the 1, so you have an extra 1 in your reserve deck.
I think so.
If that's his plan. I don't know if he's got other things,
I mean, the fact that Mike was able to reinforce up in space with Kylo Ren with lightsaber really helped him out because he didn't have to lose the Intimidator and the Persecutor.
I mean, Greg's going to be able to start doing some damage here, though, right? Because he's got the
Mm-hmm.
Cantina Shuffle working. So Leia's going to drain
True.
for 2 at the Cantina.
Luke's going to drain
Luke's
for
going to drain
2.
for 2.
Yeah. I just think that Greg was a little too slow with his setup, unfortunately. Okay, he does do what you were talking about. He does put the Walkling out of play so he can retrieve the Yoda.
And yeah, he probably doesn't want to battle into Mike this turn again either.
Mm-mm.
Um, especially with there's nothing. Well, there's a 7 on top, right? So you'd have to peel that for Emperor's Power.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then you get a 5 and then an unknown card. I mean, the 5 becomes a 6. So,
But yeah, you're probably not battling into Mike here.
no.
So you're able to. Why is there 4 cards? No, because 3PO now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to 3PO that Yoda back. You're able to deploy that R2 back with Seeking, and you're basically set up the same way you were. So you lost 2 cards to that battle, 3 cards really, because you had to stack 1. And then Mike lost Kylo and a card off the top. So it's really,
Yeah.
it's still a net positive for Greg just because he's draining for free.
Yeah, and that's what the important thing is.
Yeah, and I think once Greg does his Cantina Shuffle here, you might see the sister and Mara move over to Mos Eisley next turn.
Box those 2 characters in there. And we saw that Greg has a sorry about the mess, but I mean, it's unfortunately it's in his lost pile.
I mean, he could have 2.
Yeah, there we go. It's like he was listening to you as you described what he should do.
Well, he's a better player than I am. He should see these lines. Although I will say it's way easier to see these lines watching from this 1,000-foot view than it is while you're in the game.
You're not wrong. Mike will lose TIE Century ships and an Dominator and Persecutor from his hand.
Intimidator.
Intimidator, sorry.
You just want it to be the Dominator. It's
I
not.
do.
I am interested by the fact that Greg did not activate all 13. So that top card is not Yoda.
You're right. That's the
So
card he
unless
put
he put
down with.
something-
That's
yeah.
the card he put down.
Unless he did that in the opposite order and I wasn't paying attention.
No, because I think he put the card down with 3PO after he retrieved. So hopefully he realizes it and he's tracking.
I mean, that may not have been his plan. So
Yeah.
we'll see what his plan is here.
Mike does lose 2. We must accelerate our plans. 1 from his hand, 1 from his force pile.
And he's keeping that 7 on top.
Yeah,
So he's got 7-5 on top.
7-5. Luke joins Leia over in the Cantina. Up to 16 people on a Tuesday night. Again, thank you all for joining us. Bill, you are our master of trivia, so in between the 2 games, let's go ahead and give out a... Okay, he knew what it was.
Yeah, that makes sense. He put it back. And he
So-
knows he's got 4-6.
Yeah. But I was gonna say you're our master of trivia, so why don't in between games we give away Holo Theater pack?
Are we still in control phase?
He
That's-
is. Maybe he's got a sorry about the mess in his hand.
Interesting.
Maybe he's got a sorry about the mess in his hand.
Yeah, Greg knows it's 4-6, so that's gonna hit.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, like he has nothing to reinforce up in space with.
Yeah, but that can land at the hut, right?
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Then you can set it up again. I mean, Mike's only doing 3 points of damage then. So he Nabrins leads Luke and Leia over in front of Vader. Vader takes Leia, but then we see Luke swing his lightsaber at Vader, hitting Vader, and Leia will go to the use pile. Interesting. So
Okay.
sorry about the mess goes to the lost pile. Vader and the lightsaber both go to the lost pile. And as you called it, Greg did have 2 neighboring leads.
I think that's 3. Didn't he lose one? Or he drew for Destiny. He didn't actually lose it. Okay.
Yeah, he drew it for Destiny. I'd like to see Greg reinforce with Luke here. And instead, he's going to drop down Owen and Baru and Lars.
No, he doesn't know what this one is, right?
And he's going to deploy Leia from the Lost Pile. Okay, he's got Leia Rebel Princess in his Lost Pile.
Interesting.
So, yeah, you just put Leia Rebel Princess down to Mos Eisley, move over Owen and Baru.
Yeah, but you have to lose a force to the sister.
Oh, yeah. Well, he knows what his Hojix is.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not in his hand.
No, it's not. Okay, so Leia does go down to Mos Eisley.
Yeah, I don't hate any of this. This is a
No.
pretty good line.
Unfortunately, Leia will not be able to cancel those drains.
Yep. I mean, it's a drain of 1, so it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah.
but
But I mean, you get a card back from it.
it's true.
But
Especially
yeah,
the
Leia
story
won't
about
be
the
able to
mess.
do anything here.
I
A
don't think he knows that, though. That's...
lot of people forget about that, including the guy who created the card.
Well, that's just silly. Who would ever forget text on a card they created?
I don't know. I don't think has Joe created any cards. We can't really pick on him. I think Joe's had to create a card here or there.
He made the Tatooine utility belt.
Is that still in play?
No, not at all.
Okay, he does land the Han shooting the Falcon. He lends it to Mos Eisley.
That was an interesting little turn.
Mm-hmm. Not a terrible turn. I mean, you get away, you get rid of a drain of 2. And I think there's 3 Vaders in the Lost Pile for Mike.
Well, there's definitely 2 that have died.
Yeah, and he's lost
The
1.
third one is going up the top.
Yeah.
Well, here's an accelerate, probably for looking for no escape.
Yeah, it has to be. He grabs first strike, so if he's looking
good.
for the... Yeah, I was going to say that's not as good, but it's still pretty good. And Gray can still play one more shield. But yeah, I think Mike was definitely looking for the no escape. Unless he's got it in his hand. He's got a 9-card hand at this point.
No, I think no escape went off the top.
Oh, you're right.
But first strike will...
I know the no. I know the Unita is in the lost pile for Greg. Okay, Greg will
First strike will get to the
recirculate.
retreat Vader, and then you can track him around with 4 alarm.
Mhm.
You can have him out in 2 turns.
So much
True,
tracking in the game
escalated battle.
nowadays. There's so much tracking in the game nowadays. I hate it.
There was always that much tracking.
Yeah, I still. Maybe I should just go back.
Arguably more important before because
yeah.
the average Destiny was so bad.
Yeah.
Now it's easier. You're just like, all right, let me put a card down. I'll get a card.
Yeah.
Put a card down. I'll get a card. I'll draw Destiny. It's a 9.
Okay, Tom. Okay, Gray has 1 card left in his force pile. So right now, life force in hand is 20 for Mike. Greg's sitting at 18. So it's still fairly close game.
Yeah, Greg with more life force.
Yeah.
But,
he is going to lose 3 this turn.
Yeah.
Again, I'm thinking, like, what characters right now does Mike have left that he can go down and, say, possibly try and fight Luke?
Well, you've got Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
He does activate down to 3.
You've got... I'm looking at the list. There's a surprise here that I'm going to let happen. If we see that
If
one.
we see it. There goes a Sorry About the Mess and a Ray off the top of the reserve deck.
And we saw Yasain Azard be drawn for Destiny earlier, so she's in the deck too.
And he did take her into hand.
No, you redrew it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. There's War's Han off the top. No escape into the Vader. So he did have the no escape in his hand.
Yeah, that's pretty big because that can
Yeah.
go. If you have a force field, that can go fight Luke.
I'm going
If
against
you,
Obi. Or I'm going right down to Tatooine.
yeah, if you don't have a force field, you probably are tracking something to make him lose
Yeah.
both characters there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you grab Leia. You fight against Owen and Beru. The Falcon's not doing anything.
Yeah, you've got first strike.
Yeah. And you know that the Hojik's in the deck.
Yep.
This could be the game ender right here.
Low and Brew's gonna be power 6 versus Vader's 6.
But you're getting 2 Destiny, and you know what the Destiny are. They're probably a
I don't think
7
you're
and
gonna.
5.
I don't think you do the 2 Destiny here. I think you just take the hit for the extra 1 ping and you draw
Oh,
1
Kira
Destiny.
Top Lieutenant. Is that the card you're talking about?
Yeah.
He lost it to from hand. Why Kira the Top Lieutenant?
I don't know. I didn't build this deck.
It's got to be for Y4 Ops.
I mean, yes, for Yavin 4, it's also good against Han Chewie Falcon because it satisfies all your battle damage.
True.
Or just Han in general. It's an ability 4 character.
Yep. Okay, so Mike does initiate. There goes a blaster deflection off the top. Vader swings. This is going to cause another point of damage if he hits Owen and Beru. Oh, yeah, you're right. You don't lose. He draws a 1 for the first Destiny.
Hey, there's another Vader.
Another Vader. And he draws a 5.
Yeah, we knew that was the 5.
Yeah.
Should know this Destiny too. That should be a 5 also, I believe.
Yeah, Force Lightning. Greg's going to have to lose to I Am Your Father. Loses Leia's Resistance Transport from his hand. None of these players are using AIs. This bothers me.
That one I can forgive because maybe you don't have it.
Oh!
Sniper's
A sniper and Dark Strike from his hand. He does have to lose one, but this is definitely going to end the game now.
No, because it's 6-0, so it's just 1 Destiny. And Han Chewie still has forfeit 8.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 5 for Destiny, we think, right? So 11-0 is that and 3 cards.
3 cards, yeah. But, I mean, Greg can initiate a drain with Luke, causing 2 points of damage. But, Mike, you're just losing from hand. Yeah, and you got cards that you can cycle back, so why not?
Yep, and Greg used his grabber already.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he just played that Force Lightning makes me think this could be a better Destiny than Force Lightning.
Yeah. Because he did use 1 force to play the masterful move, and there it is. Short range fighter and watch your back. Pretty good card.
Yeah.
With the Maul Sith Infiltrator.
Now in total 6 because of Simalu.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 force to bring him before me, and then 4 force for the difference in power.
Yeah.
Mike's going to have to lose a card for bring him before me, but that's fine.
Why is he going to have to lose one to bring him before me?
Oh, right, because that reduces the loss,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it looks like it's going to be...
Yeah, and Greg correctly doing math and should get in another drain. So should get in 2 drains, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going to be 11.
3, 4.
Like,
Yeah, 11 seems right. Unless he can find unless one of those 4 cards is another character.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there goes. They're tracking us. Leia, Luke's bionic hand, A Princess Leia V. He also loses R2, brave little droid. Okay, so he's going to play the I can't believe he's gone to get back the Owen and Brew.
Yeah, Owen and Brew weren't forfeited, so that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, how do you revive Han Chewie Falcon?
Well, I mean, it's got 2 characters on the starship, right?
Yeah, there you go. Chewie's almost always a rebel.
Greg's only going to get 1 drain in.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it might be correct to just draw so that you have less cards in lost pile for the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Because it's going to be 11
Because
either way.
yeah, and well, no, it's going to be 12 because I think Mike has an interrupt on top of his deck. He can put it back. He can put a card back with Forlom and then play the
Yeah.
interrupt. So it's probably going to be 12.
Oh, yeah, because it's short range. Well, there might be another Sith Infiltrator in there. But yeah, so Mike's going to win this one by 11 or 12. Yeah, Greg's skipping to draw.
Yeah. Mike activates. And Greg does commence the draw. Okay, so it is going to be 11. Mike will not do the Forlom at the end. So Mike Kessling takes game 1. So what are your thoughts there, Bill?
Um, yeah, and so Mike told me a little bit about his thought process, right? He thought that Greg could lead into the Obi here, and he thought that Bring Him Before Me had a pretty good matchup against it. So that was a good one for Mike to choose there. Let me see if he said anything else about this. Um, he also said he likes Bring Him Before Me against what he perhaps thought Greg might play if Greg was expecting Mike to play Map or Shadow Collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he specifically said like 0 hour or no idea. He likes Bring Him Before Me against those as well.
Okay, so we are gonna. Looks like we are going to take a quick break. Greg is saying that he's ready whenever. Mike is asking, so we're going to take about a 3 to 5 minute break. In the meantime, Bill, do you have any trivia questions to give out? Some Hollow Theater packs.
Well, yeah, I can give one away right now.
Okay.
Just real quick while we were looking at this. So one of the things, if you've been listening to the top 8 podcasts, I like to ask is how many of a given thing there are, and so this one will be no exception. So I want someone in chat to tell me, and I will type all this also. Let me type it out before I say it.
I like that.
So I'm looking for the exact number here, not the closest. First one to see the exact number. I'm asking light side and dark side. How many cards have Luke in the title of the card?
Oh, wow. Now, here's my next question. Are you counting V cards?
I am. Yes, those will
Okay.
be different cards.
Joe says 30.
Jesus, Joe, really? It's literally 30.
Clearly, he typed it into something. Joe, you get yourself a Hollow Theater Host and Heroes pack. Again, we'll show off. You know what? Actually, we're going to show these off just because I busted my hump today. Making a few and just updating them. So, our current batch of Hollow Theater Hosts and Heroes cards. Let me look for the. Oh, the.
I expected to kill like 30 seconds with that, you know?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, here. So I did update a few of them, including the mall of the Bat Mall. And so if you have won yourself a Bat Mall over the course of the first iteration of them, please let me know, and I'll get you one of the new corrected ones, including foil or non-foil. Carl, no.
Carl, that's an unaired episode. You
That
can't
is
be
an unaired
spoiling
episode.
stuff.
But we also have, again, Brad, the new ones. Kylo Ren. We have Brian Fred, Kylo Ren with lightsaber. Kendall Hallman as Kanan Jarrus Jedi Knight. Matt Manning as General Grievous. And Johnny Chu on Like My Father Before Me. So make sure you guys look for those, including some signed cards by each of our those individuals. But I'll hopefully have some of those to give out at Worlds. as I will not be going to nationals because Joe Olson, even though he called up my boss told Joe that I'm essential to the workforce.
Off the top of your head, top 8 devices? Oh man, we were already talking about evaporators and hydroponic stations, so that's got to go in the honorable mention. Uh, I think Luke's Bionic Hand is going to make a top 8. I think Darkside Restraining Bolt would make a top 8.
I said light side restraining bolt too.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I would count them both.
I think for its historical significance, Landing Claw would make a top 8. I think
Journal.
Homing Beacon is my underrated top 8. Um,
Tractor beams.
Dude, I hate tractor beams. I don't want those to be a thing
So,
at all.
so if you're going to play against Bill at any point, play tractor beams. You put them on tilt.
Oh God. Obi's Journal, yeah, it would make a top 8.
I like Mandalorian armor. Just because the look of it. I mean, just the look. Let's see.
I'm trying to dig deep here. I like the deflector shield generators. V.
Yeah, they're really solid.
One.
I mean, that was a good card even before we nerfed Lightning Claw to Oblivion. The Carbonate Chamber console.
Oh, Rebel Flight Suit's a good one too.
Which one? Rebel Flight Suit. Don't let Tom hate. No.
And yeah, actually the Carbon Chamber console non-V might make my list.
Jedi Holocron. I'm waiting for the Sith Holocron at some point.
Oh, Jedi Holocron was a very underplayed card. That's fair.
The Cyborg Construct.
No, I don't need that one.
Really?
All right, I got Scomp open. Let me look at devices here.
Magnetic Suction Tube. Great card to pull in all the Jedi.
That's not my type. Defensive Shield, not device.
The Shield Gate. That's a cool image. I mean,
Shield
you only see it in one deck, but...
Oh, the Fire Extinguisher needs to make a top 8.
Oh, yeah, easily. Luke's Backpack and Mind What You've Learned just for Scott.
Yeah, how many other cards can carry cards? It's pretty much just that, right?
Mercenary Armor.
What does this do? Learning things. Oh, who was somebody made the deck with the Observation Holocams, right? That was one of the Albany guys?
Yeah, it got a V card recently.
One too.
Hans Metal, newest device in the game.
Hans Metal. I forget that's a card all the time.
I mean, yeah, Ryan Saracen with the portable scanner in his Y4 Ops at Worlds. Or was it Worlds or SoCal?
That was... I don't know. Yes, maybe both. What about pre-errata electro binoculars too?
Yeah.
Might have to make a top 8.
How about the portable fusion generators as the OG original device V card?
That's a good one too. I actually thought that was still a card.
I wish it was. It should be.
It's not.
It should be.
Lots of cards carry cards. Touche. Yeah.
Can't think of any other ones besides the backpack.
How many characters carry cards?
Well, I know the vehicles carry cards, like the Tauntaun.
Yeah.
Well, that Rider. Yeah. Do you have another trivia question? Because Joe just timed it within 10 seconds.
God, he must have had Scomp Link open too.
I know. Joe, close Scomp Link.
No, I was gonna look at stuff while we were playing, or while they were playing the second game to figure out a second trivia question.
Make sure you guys sign up for the fantasy contest. Matt Wadden is doing that again this year for Nationals. So big props to Matt for doing that. During the stream, we'll definitely be giving away some stuff. I'm assuming Jared has plenty of stuff to give away during the stream. And then just as a tease, make sure you guys tune in on May the 4th. I know that I have said this many a times that the only way to get the deck boxes is to donate. Well, I think there's a little rumor going around that on May the 4th, we're going to do a special Holo Theater episode, and we could be giving away something really cool. Hint, hint. Hint, hint.
That's what they call in business, a tease.
You can see 6 of them over my shoulder.
Whoa.
You can see 7 of them over Bill's shoulder.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should really put those somewhere.
Okay, so it looks like our 2 players are ready. Just inform them that we are ready to go as well. Again, Mike Kessling took game 1 by 11. So, it looks like Mike has posted the deck. He is going to be playing light side. Greg's playing dark side this turn. And here we go, everybody. Ralltiir versus HITCO. Oh my God, Mike is pulling out all the stops tonight. I love it.
What's up here?
Okay. Greg going with I'm Imperial Arrest Order, Secret Plans, and Endor Shield, as well as the Insignificant Rebellion V. Mike going with I Must Be Allowed to Speak. He has the I Feel the Conflict, Like My Father Before Me, and Wackling. I don't know if this is nines, but I'm more interested in seeing what Mike's playing, because do you think he's playing the shield busting?
I can tell you that that's not nines, right? Because you would have to start
No.
either mob points or
Yeah.
whatchamacallit, blaster card, entire
Yeah.
legion.
So Greg looks like Greg is going with the traditional. Mike plays Our Only Hope. Greg does pull Admiral Piet with Endor Shield. Mike getting out Dagobah Yoda's Hut non-V. Greg pulls out Admiral Ozzel. Okay, so knowing that Mike is playing HITCO, what is the play if you're Greg?
You have to kind of play this slow because it absolutely could be the shield bust version, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you see that Greg hasn't pulled a grabber yet, right? And that's definitely correct. If you suspect it's the shield buster version,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to wait and see what's going on. Um,
Mike,
you
Mike's
prioritize
already.
finding your Gick,
Hmm.
and then pulling. Actually, one of the best shields to play against this deck is the Senate shield, right? So you can't get the recoiled.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, Greg looking for a docking bay after he activates his 4. Mike does pull his grabber as well as Goldenrod. Okay, and if you're Mike, knowing that you're up by 11, what is your strategy?
I don't know. I mean, you want to force action, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the things the HITCO deck can do, whether it's the Buster version or not, is it can do a lot of damage quickly, right? Because you're going to get Luke out and you're going to be able to drain forward 2 pretty quick. You're going to get Prophecy to that site. You probably go to Ralltiir, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Joe's in the chat. Joe might disagree. Joe might go to the 2-1, right? And you get that drain of 2 for the whole game with Prophecy not moving. Similar
Yeah.
to how they play the Cantina version of the what was Yoda commuting and then is now other things. Maybe still Yoda commuting. I don't know.
I think I've seen Casey play the Yoda commuting. That Yoda commuting. He's a big fan of it. Okay, there we go. The Ralltiir Spaceport prefix office
Okay.
coming down. There's the moment of triumph to get out Iriadu.
Joe does like going to Ralltiir also, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So in the chat, everybody except for Carl, I have to go. I'm going to be going out to Columbus this weekend. So we do have a Columbus local this Saturday, the 25th. If you can go out to it, it should be fun. Kendall knows how to put on a fun event. If you're going to be there, let me know what I should play. I'm only asking because I don't want Carl to come up with me like, oh, you should play this. No, Carl is definitely invited. Okay, Greg does draw 3. There's the desk order assignment. Pull the Tyrant. Take a picture of the ceremony. What ceremony? Okay, Mike's gonna go. He uses "I must be allowed to speak" to attempt to pull the farm. Does look like it is in there.
Kieran played this against me in this event, and he missed his missed his farm pull on turn one, so I
Oof.
got to see the entire deck. I had to just flip the entire game plan on a dime. That was a fun time.
What did you? What were you playing?
I was playing Dooku Revenge.
For Kendall. Now I'm really curious, Jared.
Hmm.
I mean, I will say this: it is a 3 hour long drive for me. I don't know if like part of me is just like, do I want to do that after work? But yeah,
You do, because Star Wars is
yeah.
involved.
Okay, there's Yoda's hut. So Mike's going to be activating 12 on his next turn. And Mike's going to draw some cards. 3-1 in favor of Japan.
I mean, I do have $5 on Japan to win this, so I'm okay with this.
Pretty sure that weren't they like the favorite or
They were, I think the US was actually favored.
no? I think wasn't I think the Dominican Republic was favored.
Yeah, I think both of them were favored over Japan.
Yeah. I'll take a picture. Okay, Carl stepping up and taking up my spot. Don't worry,
So
I'll take pictures.
another slowish start here to the game, right? And
Yeah,
that's kind of what you expect at this
but
level of play.
I think if you're Greg, you want to be a little bit slower.
Well, you've got to win by 12 with ROPS, and that's a deck that doesn't normally win by a
Yeah.
lot when it does win. So I think you need to. I think Joe said in the chat it was you can go very light to space,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe just like
I
maybe
don't
not
know.
just a
Like
shuttle, but
I was gonna say, Tiderian could come down.
I'd be more worried about Hanshui Falcon than Tiderium.
Yeah.
So you go light enough that you can survive a Hanshui Falcon.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely interesting to see that Mike taking his time, getting out his locations, not going down to Ralltiir.
I mean, there's no rush to go down turn one. I mean, maybe you don't have the hand, right?
Mm-hmm. Again, the winner of this game will face Kieran in the finals, or in the top four.
It's the semifinals.
Semifinals. Yeah. I'm rushing things.
A little bit, yeah.
Greg's still thinking about what he wants to do this turn. Attempting to pull a docking bay. No docking bay to be found for Mr. Shaw. So that means that he either has the spaceport docking bay in his hand or it is in his force pile.
No, that's not what I meant to do.
I do like the play from Greg not to go down with Ozzel and Piet down to the docking bay turn one.
I mean, you could.
Well, no, I'm saying, you got to think that Mike is probably playing at least one spy.
Yeah, but to have it in your opening 8 is a. I mean, if you're playing one total spy, that's what, a 17% chance?
Yeah. Math, I don't know. Greg is going to pull a Ralltiir site. There's the Spaceport Street. Interesting to see that Mike pulls out Wise Advice. Tells me that that Greg's playing some senses in his deck. Vengeance going down to Eerie Idu. I'd like to see Greg having a Imperial Barrier or something. We know he has Ozzel in his hand. Okay, Commander Desan going down for 2. Yeah, I think this is where you definitely got to play the Ozzel up there. But no, he's going to draw a card off the force pile. And pass turn. So, pretty light to space. I think you called it. Well, I think Joe called it first.
Joe called it, yeah. So I'm looking at Greg's deck. Do you want to know anything about it?
No, I want to see I want to see surprises.
Okay.
Now, I will say this: if he loses like instantaneously and just concedes, then I want to hear about it.
Well, then it'll get posted eventually. So there you go.
I can't wait. Bill, we all know that I can't pronounce names.
Eerie, I do. Listen.
Okay, Luke, going down to Ralltiir, that is going to flip Mike.
Riadu. I don't know. Whenever I host this that podcast with Kendall and Batmouse, they are constantly correcting me on how to say card names. So
you know what? As long as someone knows what I'm saying and gets the reference, I don't care. Okay, no lightsaber for Mike though. Yoda as backup. Weapon levitation from hand to pull a lightsaber. Still no defensive shields from Greg. Yeah, Carl, I do agree with you. Trusting Kendall and Batmouse is dangerous. And no lightsaber in the use pile for Mike.
I mean, that's not that big of a deal, right? It's just you miss that on a drain of 1. You'll get it next turn.
Yeah. Mike will draw some cards.
I know we learned the other day that nobody pronounces General Tag the same way.
General Taj.
General Taj, General Taggy.
General Charge. It's French.
That's General Tag.
Okay, Mike's still drawing up. He draws up to 14, saving 1. And he is going to attempt to retrieve a force. He will not. As Secret Plans is on the table.
It was a good attempt.
Is that a May or is it a force?
To retrieve?
Yeah, with the objective. I think it's a May.
I think it's a May.
I was going to say because no battle plan or battle order, so Greg is going to drain for free. There goes Neighboring Leads from hand. Hassan will pull a Lambda shuttle or a landing craft.
Well, so Greg looked at Mike's reserve deck, right? So he knows
saw the reserve deck and the use pile.
Yeah, he knows just about every card in there,
Yeah.
so he knows what version it is, and he can play accordingly. And the fact that he didn't pull a grabber makes me think that it's probably the Buster version.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see because, like you said, he missed that first turn farm pool. That was big.
No, he didn't miss it. I was saying that was what happened when I played Kieran.
Oh, you're right.
Also, this is a non-V farm.
That's a non-V farm. What is Mike Kessling doing? Okay, there's a spaceport docking bay.
I mean, against ROPS, it's not going to mean anything, right? Still, is it drain -1? No, it's not. Look at that. It is going to mean something.
Yeah, it's a good Joe in the chat saying it's got to be the Shield Buster. The weapon levitation is a shielded card, and not pulling battle plan to make Greg pull it is another indication. Yeah.
I mean, I know what it is, so.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to say things that had happened in the game so that I could say that.
Insert shield, code clearance, goose shield, and the Emperor comes down to the spaceport docking bay. That will flip Mike back.
I don't know that you care so much about. I mean, it depends on the build of Rops, right?
Hmm.
Goo might not affect it too much if it's a bunch of ability 2 guys, for example, especially with IAO out there.
But more
Uh,
importantly, if this is the shield busting version, we're going to see a lot of Jedi presence.
yeah.
Okay, the fifth brother comes down to Ralltiir as well. Greg has 4 force left.
I do think that
Ozzel comes down.
the Senate shield is the most important.
Yeah. For the sense and recoil and fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Admiral Piet comes down.
Yeah, he's cheaper over there.
Gunita hits all the Inquisitor, Mara Jade, Vader, Veers. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so Piet comes down, shuttles over. Greg draws a few cards. So he's got himself set up to drain for 2 at the Iriadu. And he doesn't have to worry about battle plan, but
I'll just keep a running total on his odds number here. It's currently 3 versus 10.
odds to win or
No. For never tell me the odds.
oh. Okay, so there is the Luke Saber from Mike's hand. Shirut comes down in front of the Emperor and Piet.
It's now 12-3.
Run, Luke, run would be insane here. Yeah, he's got 12 force left. He can recirculate. He can do so much damage with Shirut. Jin Urso coming down.
Yeah, I mean, Run Luke Run into Jedi Presence is live here.
Yeah. There's the there is no try.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. For the sense, so
I mean, unless Greg has a sense for Jedi Presence, maybe. No,
Yeah.
but that doesn't make sense either. What is he sensing?
okay. Beggar coming down. Oh, he's got to have. Does he have the draw their fire here?
There's Cancel Beggar.
Yep.
Sad. Dream dead. Is Frozen Assets a card now? Did we ever get that?
I don't think it's coded. There's the draw the fire, so he does have it. And again, Greg does have 1 force saved in his force pile. Okay, here we go. Mike, it will initiate. And he will use 1 to retrieve the beggar. Greg loses Tyrant from his hand.
Gotta get that beggar back.
There's the run, Luke, run. Luke teleports over to the docking bay.
Yeah, and you gotta let that happen even if you have a sense.
Yeah.
They don't.
Shirut taking the top card of his own deck.
Yeah. Seeing who he's swinging at.
Yeah. And he'll move it over to his, he does move it over to his force pile. Luke swings at Admiral Piet. Draws a 1 for the first Destiny. And a 7 for the second one.
Mike just luckboxing high destinies all over the place.
Yeah. Do you play the Sorry About the Mess combo or Clash of Sabers here if you're Mike?
If you're Mike and you have Clash, you clash the Emperor.
Oh, well, yeah. There's the Jedi presence.
All right, so we're looking at a difference of effectively 11 right now,
Yeah.
plus Battle Destinies.
Okay, Mike does draw a 4. It becomes a 5 with Like My Father Before Me. Greg
Yeah,
draws a
difference is
5.
10.
Huh?
Right? 10? Yeah, so after forfeiting Emperor, Greg's going to owe 10 force.
Yep. There goes the Emperor's personal shuttle onto I Feel the Conflict. Question now is, okay, there goes Jin. Mike will take a peek at Greg's hand and see if he's got the Gick. I think if you're Greg, you just scoop.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the Gek, he would have already scooped.
Yeah. There goes Piet to the lost pile. Emperor goes to the lost pile as well.
Oh,
He doesn't have the Gick. Tarkin's Bounty, Image of a Dark Lord, Point Man, Stormtrooper Garrison, Ninth Sister, Tarkin, Magistrate Elspeth, Imperial Command, Masterful Move combo, and another Emperor all go to the lost pile. Oh, that's backbreaking.
all right. So if you're Greg, you're going to play this out, right? Because it's your buddy. How do
I
you
think so.
how do you try to make this close, right? So you're looking at drain of space.
I mean, he's ready for 2. And Mike's not flipped because the fifth brother's on the table. No, Jeff, that's not the best feeling in the world. I think the best feeling in the world's got to be beating a top, like one of the top best players.
I thought we established earlier that it was drawing a 6.
That's if you're Chris Kelly.
Okay, just specifically Chris Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, so this having the non-V farm gives Greg an out to go drain for 2,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny to me. You have Ewok Village, which is a drain -1, but you can move somebody into the O2 and drain 2 there. You don't have to worry about neighboring because you have IAO.
Yeah.
And Greg's only got so many characters, and both of his Jedi are on the table. Or Mike. Mike only has so many characters, and both of his Jedi are on the table.
Okay, so there goes a Han with Blaster Pistol. Yeah, and so if you're Greg, you got Ahsoka, but I mean, Ahsoka's there. You still got Leia. I'm assuming it's going to be Leia with a gun.
Yep. Han with gun just went off the table, so you can safely rule out Han Chewie Falcon.
Yeah.
Well, probably rule out Han Chewie Falcon.
And the biggest insult there is, Mike knew Greg didn't have the Gick after he checked his hand. Like, it's just dirty. Okay, Greg does look for a site with his objective. Looks like he does have one there. Now, the prophecy does move, but being that Mike's probably going to drain for 2, it's going to move over to where Luke is. Okay, there's the Spaceport Street.
Yeah, and he'll be able to use Our Only Hope to move it around too.
Mm-hmm.
And you theoretically can flip here.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 8 cards in hand, 15 to work with. And being that, like you said, Luke and Yoda are on the table. It's not dirty. It's Carl, please post that to Slack. Matt Lutz might make you the Slack winner of the day. Colonel David John coming down to the prefix office. So I think you're right. He is going to attempt to flip this turn.
See, I don't know if I love that. Like, you're not protecting any cards, right? Because he's still going to drain for 2 because it's a Ralltiir site. I'd rather send him over to the farm, which maybe Greg doesn't realize it's the non-V1 also. Or even, like, Ewok Village, and you could strand somebody, maybe.
Okay, there's Arca coming down. I mean, the biggest problem is, like,
Yeah,
To
and I
flip,
like
he's
Arca to the O2, right?
yeah.
Like,
Okay, there's the shuttle coming down. So I mean, he could put somebody on the shuttle them up to Ralltiir, but that doesn't do anything.
well, you're using that to flip because it's not an Imperial. That's just
Yeah,
going to shuttle up, and you're not worried about it anymore. You can move Ozzel over, I guess.
yeah. Oh,
Green
yeah. Charlie
V.
in the chat. I like that. Degree non-V would be really good here. Just block off that the lightsaber. Now, I mean, it doesn't get rid of the prophecy, but like you were saying, Mike would have to move the prophecy with Our Only Hope. Okay,
Yeah,
great news.
without decree, I think you just throw. I mean, maybe he want the extra to Battle Destiny, but I wouldn't even want to clear those guys.
Yeah, you want to leave them on the table.
That's literally half the characters in your deck are either on the table or in the lost pile already.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Greg has 17 in his life force at this point. Okay, we saw him lose, what, 10 in overflow in the battle with Luke. And there's the first sense and recoil and fear. Yeah, Greg didn't pull the shield for it.
I think you pull a shield if you have the Gick. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, you might want him to do that,
Yeah, you
right?
might want to get the Gick.
But I don't even know that he needs the Gick, right? Because, like I said, there's only so many cards you can do. What this does do is give live outs to Mike for getting that. No, Run Like Run's lost, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't retrieve it.
And I believe Jedi Presence is also lost.
Yeah. Jedi Presence is probably the grab against this deck if you end up playing a grabber. Just so
Yeah.
you guys
Now,
know.
I mean, if he's got the Luke's Bionic Hand, then he can get this. He can start getting those cards back. But I mean, he would have to fight with Luke.
Well, one of
And
the things talking to Matt about this deck at some point, he was saying there's a whole lot of things you got to cut to fit in the stuff like double goo and triple Jedi Presence and
yeah,
all these things. So there's no way he's playing a Bionic Hand.
he's got one. We saw him draw for Destiny.
Oh Jesus,
On
did
the
he?
yeah, he drew for Destiny on the swing.
Well, I don't know what Mike's playing. Theoretically, I can go look at it. No, he's playing two of them. All right, well, I was wrong.
There's the goo. Greg lost a Death Squadron assignments and a masterful move off the top of his deck. Mike puts a card back with Like My Father Before Me. Lando coming down in front of Arica. How about another run, Luke, run into another Jedi Presence here? Corn Horn coming down. I mean, he's only got 3 cards in his hand. That's the worst part.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I might have gone wider.
Yeah.
Imperials control 3 battlegrounds, so you're not going to be able to do that for Uriadu.
Okay, Mike will initiate.
That E system.
He will retrieve. Greg will have to lose. Mike retrieves the Sense and Recoil and Fear that he just played on Greg's last turn. There goes Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, off the top of the reserve deck for Greg. Greg sitting at 15 in Life Force.
He's going to add 4 to his Destiny here, so he should be able to clear both characters as long as he draws a 4.
Well, what if Luke runs over? Nope. There's Jedi Presence for the first Destiny. And a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight for the second Destiny.
So 20, so 13, so 17. So as long as he draws a 3, he won't take any overflow.
Draws a 6. Even better. Greg will swap some cards around. Putting a card into his lost pile, taking a card out. He puts the 7th Sister into the lost pile in exchange for Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. Now, Mike does win the battle, so Greg has to stack a card. He stacks Sense and Uncertain of the Future. There goes Corn Horn. clearly, I'm assuming Greg put Mike on Old Allies.
Yeah, that was the other thing that Mike sent to me. Let me pull this up here. Didn't want to play Old Allies because he will probably expect Old Allies, and this deck seems fun.
Yep, that's going to flip Greg back. And there goes Lando. Yeah, I was going to say Charlie losing the 1 and then losing the Arca. Well, the only thing that Greg would or Mike would still be able to move.
Yeah.
So
you need to prioritize staying above 12.
Yeah. That's the more important thing. Okay, Luke moves over.
It's not a strict 12 because draw their fire on the table, but
Prophecy of the Force will not move this turn.
you are correct.
Yep, Greg's going to put back some cards with Point Man. Let's see, will Mike grab that card? Now, I mean, putting Vader down to like the farm.
Well, you actually Vader to the Yoda site is not bad here either because you can track that point man and choke Chirrut.
Yeah.
And even if Chirrut moves it, you have a 6 underneath of it because that's the Emperor. And then whatever you put down with point man is there too. So if he activates 14 here, 13 here.
But then you just saw Mike draw up 7 cards. Run Luke Run could be in play.
Yeah, I think you take that risk at this point.
But then, I mean, Yoda's in a defensive battle, so he gets the +3. So you're essentially looking 6-6. Vader's not immune.
He's immune to 5.
Yeah, but we just saw that Mike has 6s and 7s in his decks.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeff, I agree. Vader to the farm seems like the best strategy.
I mean, I liked everybody at the farm last turn, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Greg's just like everybody's just like a turn behind you, Bill. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason why you made it into the OCS top 4.
Because I got insanely lucky.
I don't know. You beat Matt Harrison Trainer and Joe.
Oh, I should not have beaten Matt.
But you're saying that you should have beat Joe?
Nope, didn't say that.
Greg does activate the 13.
I got incredibly lucky against Joe, too, because there was one battle where I came down with a Kylo against, I think it was a Luke in his Cantina, and I had 2 zeros in the deck? 3 zeros in the deck, maybe? And, drew all 5s, even with a Luke redraw.
Okay, so he does get the drain of 2 at the system. Mike loses Our Only Hope and Quite a Mercenary. Our Only Hope from his hand. Then he'll lose 1 to the drain at the street. There goes Owen and Baru. Loses Luke's Bionic Hand off the top of the reserve deck. See, told you, he's got 6s and 7s in the deck. You don't want to go down to...
They're not in the deck anymore, so it's fine.
Well...
He's not going to have 2 Luke's Bionic Hand. Damn it, Mike.
You said he had 2!
Making me look bad by playing 2 Luke's Bionic Hand.
I mean, when you're going up against Mike Kessling, everybody else looks bad.
You're not wrong.
But Greg only activated 13. So it looks like he's saving some force for something. Question is what?
Well, we know those 3 cards, right? Because it's definitely Point Man, Emperor, and whatever you put down.
Grand Admiral Thrawn going down in front of Luke. Don't think he can flip this turn. Maybe he's got Imperial Command. Adding some Destiny to try and get rid of Luke.
Draw 5/6. That's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Or Tarkin. Okay. Mike plays Aim High. That is his last shield. Unless he has a Hear Me Baby, Hold Together. Or... Crap, I can't think of the other one. Turn it off, turn it off. No, that's the dark side one. Perimeter Scan. Greg has Imperial Enforcement in his hand. He deploys it. Greg will initiate. Grand Admiral Thrawn V and Grand Moff Tarkin V. Greg retrieves with Draw Their Fire. Mike loses our only hope from the Draw Their Fire. Tarkin adds a Destiny. Luke swings at Tarkin. Draws a 4. That's going to hit Tarkin.
See, Vader would have been immune.
Draws a 3. I still like the Imperial Command here. Get a 3rd Destiny.
Yeah, that would be pretty good too.
Imperial Command add a 3rd Destiny. Mike, with what are you trying to push on us? Oh my gosh. I love it. Greg is getting 3 Destiny there. Draws a 5.
Yeah, this is 5, 6, and something.
Yep, and it's going to be 11, so that brings him up to 22 before damage. Oof. So 17 to 8 right now. Mike draws Revolution for 4.
Or Revo.
12 to 28 in favor of Greg. That's going to be 21 after attrition. Or after you lose Luke. Mike's peeling.
Yeah, he's got to peel first. Because he doesn't have a Hoojix with 3 cards. This is we got ourselves a game again.
We do. There goes the Revolution.
He's got to peel 5 more.
Yeah. This game is not over yet, people.
Neighboring from hand makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to lose too much from your hand. You still want to give yourself something to do on your next turn. Ahsoka Tano, Owen and Baru.
It's a lot of characters, man.
Jedi Presence. There goes the Luke. Okay, right now we're sitting at 19 to 17. Mike's still ahead.
I wonder if Greg is going to get squirrely here and pull the Coward Shield, because that's probably the only Luke Saber.
Yeah.
Actually,
I know. Matt Harrison. Matt, he only played 1.
Yeah. And if you got room for 2 Lukes by the can, you don't have room for 2 Sabers.
No. Okay, he's going to move the 5th brother over. I do like playing the Coward here. Just to keep that Saber in the lost pile. Okay, Greg will draw a few. Sitting at 14 in Life Force. Mike has 2 cards in his... Mike doesn't retrieve the Saber.
Well, he can't because Secret Plans is out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, he could activate 1. Or he could activate, then retrieve the Saber, but there's real... I mean, you're not pulling it this turn.
Well, he does have a weapon left.
That's true. And we haven't seen that one go to the lost pile yet. That's a good point, Drew. Drew, in the chat.
Yeah, that's why I said squirrely. He's probably not doing that.
Yeah. Mike drains for 2 at the docking bay. Gray loses Imperial Enforcement from his hand. I don't think Greg swapped the card with the effect last turn. And he's going to lose Dark Maneuvers off the top. So his next 2 destinies should be the Emperor and Point Man.
Yeah, he didn't swap. And if you're Mike, though, you just put Luke down to the docking bay.
Really?
I mean, you don't want to give Greg a chance to battle into you with Draw Their Fire on the table.
True.
I think. So you just put him on a clock and drain for 2 and drain for 2.
Well, here's the thing, though. The Presence of the Force is going to move next turn.
Sure, but
So
There's
it's going to be one.
4 our only hopes in the deck, right?
He's lost 3 at least.
And if you are able to put
And
Luke down and get a saber back,
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Luke goes in front of the fifth brother and Colonel David John.
or
I'd
just
like to
do
see
that. I don't know, man.
Lando coming down.
That's a way to get the saber back without burning Walkling.
Fighting here, yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind seeing a barrier. If Greg has the barrier here, Mike recirculates with Sheeran. Okay, so no barrier. He will initiate. Again, Greg's going to have to lose one. Mike does retrieve the saber. I mean, still, that's a lot of power just from the fifth brother and Colonel David John there.
Well, they're at the prefect's office, right?
Yeah.
You get an extra one each.
Okay, loses Emperor Palpatine off the top. And, I mean, if Greg has an ability to, like, draw another Destiny here, that'd be great.
I don't even know what you would play to draw another Destiny
I
here.
know, that's what I mean. I don't know either. But I'm saying
Sneak
if he had,
attack?
no,
David
think
John's
he
a
can.
scout?
I thought the scout had to be alone.
I don't know, man.
Where's
I think
Tom
it's-
when we need him?
I think it's just a scout of ability less than X.
Okay, there goes Sense and Recoil Fear for a 4. And Yoda for a 5. That's going to be 9. That is going to clear Greg off of the site.
Yeah, it's ATST scout or lone imperial of ability less than 4.
Okay. Greg draws a 6, so that's going to tie. Greg does not have to stack a card. And Greg will swap, though. But with Mike getting rid of Colonel David John and the fifth brother, that means that the presence of the Force, or the prophecy of the Force, is going to stay right there with Yoda and Sheeran.
Yep, you just have to lose Lando here, or maybe just
Yeah.
Luke.
The fact that Greg swaps with Kier Kanos and he gets Tarkin, we know that he's got the Vader. He can go Vader,
Go Vader Tarkin.
Vader Tarkin, get rid of Luke.
Yeah, but that's all of his. Oh, and he can battle for free.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have a 6 on the bottom.
Yep. Mike will attempt to retrieve.
That's good because I was thinking you could lose Luke, right? Because you have more Lukes and you just have Lando there, but
Yeah.
his text would get canceled. Oh no, it's a choke Vader.
Yeah, he attempts to retrieve Owen, Brew, Lars. Yeah, and I don't think Greg has any 7s in his deck.
Owen is a great choice because you make Greg stack a card, or else you threaten Harvest.
Yep. Weapon Lev to get the lightsaber back.
Yeah, Drew's right in chat. He's saying to move everybody to the city, but Mike ended up drawing cards.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't think you want to lose Luke here?
Well, I think at this point you're a little scared, right? Because that's Vader Luke is what, 10 power, and you're gonna draw at least a 6, so that's at least 16. And let's say the other one's a 4.
Yeah.
That's 20. Luke is a 6. He covers 9. You need to draw 4.
Okay, so Greg does drain for free. Mike loses Iriadu, so I think the next Sense of Recoil and Fear. His next card should be Yoda, so that's only a 5. That's only going to get rid of Tarkin.
You're trying not to lose on this turn for Mike.
Yeah. Okay, there's Tarkin.
And then big
There's
bad
Vader.
Dark Lord of the Sith. Oh, they get an extra power each.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna have to take at least
Yeah.
some overflow.
Greg initiates. He retrieves the fifth brother. Mike has to lose a card. Loses Daughter of Skywalker off the top. Ugh. Yep, Tarkin adds a Destiny.
Let's see what this other Destiny is.
Mike retrieves Daughter.
Wackling for Daughter back, huh?
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I think he just wants characters.
Yeah. Trying to fight against Vader. Well, I mean... Oh.
That's a 1.
Draws a 1.
Now, you could take that into hand and redraw.
But...
That gives you a character in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. When you draw the 6, that still clears Luke. You're not worried about overflow anymore.
So, I mean, it's 19 to 6. Luke covers 9.
Right now, right? So,
15. Yeah.
And 7 actually gets rid of Vader.
That's big.
No.
Oh, no. Forfeit.
Prefect's office, man.
Yeah. And there goes Luke. So here's the question. If you're Greg, do you play Battle Order?
You could. I mean,
we know that
Mike,
he retrieved Owen and Baru.
Mike can activate plenty.
Yeah, He's got 17. He's activating 16. And you know that he's got a 6 on the top, though.
Yeah. But
so
either you're making him lose that 6 off the top, or you're making him lose both cards in his hand.
Okay, there's the Battle Order. Yeah, because he's got no way of searching his deck right now. Unless because he used both shield pools, or Endor shield pools.
And if he wants to win the game by 12, he's got to lose a card from hand and the 6.
Yep, he loses the 6. We don't know what the next Destiny is, though, because...
So that's what? 6 to 3. Got him.
Greg with the... Oh, God. That could do it.
So this is probably 2 years ago at this point, but I guess we were playing a lot of HITCO. See, and Mike's talking about it in the chat. I was trying to fit that Never Tell Me the Odds in HITCO in every variation, because you play Luke, play Yoda, play Lando, right? Like that's a fantastic total. Yeah, and Mike has the luxury here of being able to draw whatever cards he wants to find another character to, at the very least, cause another force loss with Draw Their Fire.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Greg has the Grand Inquisitor in his hand.
Yep. But he's battling it to 10 power if he does that.
I think he almost has to.
And also potentially Jedi Presence.
Jedi Presence.
And also potentially popping Never Tell Me.
Oh, he's going to pop the Never Tell Me the Odds. Oh my gosh, he's in such a bad spot right now.
Got him. Never Tell Me the Odds, sealing the deal.
Activate 7.
Oh, he did it.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, there's a drain of 1. I think if you're Mike, you just start peeling cards.
No, you don't take it for granted yet, right? Because he's going to retrieve one here.
Yeah. And that should get... Okay, it does move the prophecy. Now, the other thing is, if that gets rid of... That should get rid of Shiru, decreasing the value of the Never Tell Me the Odds.
Yeah, but it's still 4 to 1. It'd actually be 4 to 2 now.
4 to 3.
No, it's 2 because Ozzel's up there.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. If he draws it. If he doesn't draw it here. Retrieves the Emperor. Mike loses sense.
No.
Leaves it on top. Okay, so it's got to be a low destiny. Greg has no way of shuffling his deck right now.
God, that would have been great to win on a cheer it move.
Yeah.
That's just so many levels for the new allies to have cheer it, have game text, and then have never tell me the odds pop.
Greg draws a 4 for Battle Destiny. Mike draws a 4 as well. That will get rid of the Grand Inquisitor.
It's got a stack of card too.
Yeah. You have to stack the card you just drew. Okay, there goes the Grand Inquisitor. Yoda is sitting by himself. So now, if the Never Tell Me the Odds pops.
Now it's 4-3, so it's still 1 damage.
Yeah. Which puts Greg at exactly 11. I think if you're Mike, you have to drain.
Oh yeah, you pay 3 to drain here, and then you presumably have drawn a character, and you can just battle into Vader and lose.
Yeah. Unless, of course, he's able to choke the character.
It doesn't matter because
Never Tell Me the Odds.
I see what you're saying. If you choke the character, then that still doesn't matter because Greg can't get back up to 12.
Yeah. What about moving Vader in front of Yoda here? I don't know if I like that.
I probably would not move Vader in front of Yoda.
Oh, you can move Dasane with Ozzel. Well, I was going to say you could put the shuttle onto the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Oh, Dasane shuttles for free. Okay. I don't mind this because it keeps you from losing. But it doesn't put you in a winning scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, he does move Vader over.
Because as soon as the thing pops, you still have to lose a card.
Yeah.
And now Mike just runs away.
Yeah. And Greg can't drain unless he pays.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Owen Brew.
Owen and Brew there.
Here we go. Harvest time.
And now you're back up to 7 versus 4. Now you're up to 13 to 4.
And you know it's going to pop. You know it's going to pop. All you got to say is Mike Kessling pulling out the 2 decks. Yoda runs away. Like in episode 3. And Mike will draw some cards.
Yeah, pop that insert. Pop that insert. Didn't activate anything. I mean, you can't lose to the insert if you don't activate any force.
Yeah.
You can move everybody for free with the street. Got him.
I mean, Mike can still drain, though.
Yeah, he's going to drain for 1 and 1.
And then the insert should pop.
Theoretically, it might not, but it can. It would be the next turn. It would have to.
Well, I mean, he activated 7. There's 5 left, so okay.
There it is.
There it is.
13-3, lose 10.
And then drain him out. Greg's like, you know what? Nope, I've had enough. Greg concedes and Mike wins. Wow.
No, we did shuffle with Dasani. You're right, Joe.
Huh?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily going to be in the first 3. It was just he used Dasani to search. But yeah, so Mike moves on to
The top play Kieran.
Final 4 to play Kieran.
Yeah, and Mike, your lone single-digit seed.
Yeah, we got a couple other matches coming up soon, hopefully. I know you popped the bracket up before. You should probably pop it back up
That's actually what I'm doing
here.
right now.
All right.
So, and because that mouse gave me some power for some reason. Actually, it's going to be easier if I do it this way. Mike Kessling is your victor. So Mike and Kieran both in the top 4. Still waiting on Batmouse and Connor, and then Tom and Charlie. You know what I meant, Jared. I'm getting ready for nationals, and this is like the first time in a while that I actually drank a beer.
Does this mean I'm winning the fantasy contest?
Yeah, you know what? Let's check. We'll check up on that here in a second. So right now, I'm still in the lead. Bill, you're actually tied for first. Charlie is in third, followed by, I'm not sure who Run It Back is, but as you can see, based on score potential, myself, you, and Charlie are have the best odds, followed by Run It Back here.
Right.
Bill, you have the most pick potential.
Yeah, it's like I know a thing or two about putting Star Wars players in brackets.
Yeah.
Not basketball brackets. Don't worry about those.
But I think that's all we got for tonight, everybody. So thank you for tuning in. It has been a pleasure over the last 2 hours and 24 minutes. I want to thank Greg and Mike for putting on such a show. Bill, always a pleasure to do this with you. Good luck at Minnesota. And again, just as a reminder, Minnesota National starts not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. So make sure you guys tune in. Coverage will start at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Are you doing a Hall of Theater on Tuesday or just
it's
Friday?
It's going to be at Friday. No Hall of Theater on Tuesday.
Okay.
One Hall of Theater is enough for me.
I'll be there. Probably.
And then hopefully we'll get the winner of Nationals on the following week. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Again, thank you, Bill. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And any last words of wisdom, Bill?
I never have those.
Good night, everybody. Oh, and may the force be with you.